The moment of truth is here for Monster Hunter Wilds, the latest Monster Hunter experience across the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC. Today, we're going to be looking at the PlayStation 5 reviews of the game, although there are a number of reviews for the PC platform and the Xbox Series. 34 for the PC at an 88 average and 10 for the Xbox Series at an 87 average, but we are looking at the PlayStation 5 version since that has 74 reviews for a Metacritic must-buy 90 score so far. It was actually underneath it earlier, but then it got bumped up with some more 10 out of 10 reviews that went into it. So now we are going to go over the good, the middle, and the bad, and if you should check out this one based off of what some of the professional critics are saying. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here first. Like I stated, a 90 Metacritic must-buy on the PlayStation 5 platform. We're going to start off with 97 positive reviews, 70 so far of the positive 97%. 3% mixed, only 2 reviews there, and most importantly, 0% negative on there. Now let's start off with some high 10 out of 10 scores. So Creative Blog gave it a 10 out of 10 and said, more friction-free than ever, Monster Hunter Wilds welcomes new players, but also offers the series' most exciting endgame thanks to its open world structure, topped off with some brilliant new additions to the monster roster, the most accessible Monster Hunter game to date. Next up, 10 out of 10, Game Liner. Monster Hunter Wilds refines the franchise with detailed environments, new gameplay improvements, and a smoother solo experience. With features like a secondary weapon slot and focus mode, the hunt feels better than ever. If you love the grind, this is another feast worth diving into. Loot level chill, 10 out of 10. Monster Hunter Wilds feels like a true evolution of the series, maintaining everything that gives its identity, but tweaking multiple elements to improve and streamline systems. Press Start Australia, also 10 out of 10. Monster Hunter Wilds is more proof that Monster Hunter is one of Capcom's biggest franchises. Despite its sheer size, both in popularity and legacy, Capcom aren't afraid to jump headfirst into new ideas. Wilds is a different kind of Monster Hunter that feels like a natural evolution of the formula. I have no doubts it'll go down as one of the best games in the series and of 2025. Siliconera, 10 out of 10. Monster Hunter Wilds is a joy to play, a step forward for the series, and perhaps the best entry yet. VGC, 10 out of 10. Monster Hunter Wilds is a confident, bold, and one of the best Monster Hunter games ever, thanks to its ability to stand on the giant shoulders of worlds and improvement in virtually every way. GameSpew, 10 out of 10. Not only does Monster Hunter Wilds introduce meaningful new mechanics and features that improve the already stellar core gameplay, it presents players with an assortment of new and interesting monsters to do battle against, and thanks to its changeable environments, it feels more dynamic than ever. Without a doubt, this is the best entry in the series yet, and an early contender for 2025's Game of the Year. Finger Guns, 10 out of 10. Monster Hunter Wilds is fantastic. It looks beautiful, the worlds and the characters all make it vibrant and immersive, and hunting is just as fun as always. There's so much to do in the base game alone, and it's easy to get lost in, but don't fret, players can do as little or as much as they need to. If you want to build the easy stuff and just go hunt, feel free. You want to explore all food options, squad up with varying skills and weapons, that's there for you too. There's no wrong way to play, but however you do, it'll be absolutely worth investing your time. Eurogamer Portugal, The Enemy, VG247, and DualShockers all also gave the game a 10 out of 10, so 10 plus 10 out of 10 scores, which is definitely very good. And while those 10 out of 10 scores are awesome, I would give you guys a 10 out of 10 score for making sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and click that notification bell to get my vids as soon as they drop. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the 9 out of 5 scores. So we've got Gamer Heroes. Monster Hunter Wilds is the natural evolution of Monster Hunter World, and it's an early frontrunner for Game of the Year. Fans and newbies alike will find a lot to like in Wilds. Noisy Pixel, also with the 9.5 out of 10, says Monster Hunter Wilds proves that Capcom still owns the subgenre the series has created by crafting a game that somehow massively improves on its already incredible predecessor. It brings the franchise fully into the current generation with an expansive open world, gorgeous environments, and even more satisfying action combat. Nice. PSX Brazil gave it a 9.5 out of 10. True Gaming gave it a 9.5 out of 10. MMORPG.com gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Atomics as well. I want to read what they have to say. 9.5. Monster Hunter Wilds is the best game in the series. While some fans might debate this, it's undeniable that the developers have created an experience that is accessible and retains the essence of the franchise. Its story, to the surprise of many, is captivating, and it's just more than just an excuse to go out and hunt monsters, as it presents us with a specific journey with well-defined characters. Each encounter has a great weight to this adventure, and you'll never feel like you're wasting your time. The progression is fantastic, and it's something I hope will be a constant in the future. And I think for me, that part at the end there is actually really good, because sometimes I do feel like I'm just grinding away and wasting my time for a multiplayer game that I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time in, because I don't want to sit there and play multiplayer all the time. So the fact that they actually have a really defined and good single player campaign with good progression that has some weight to it and in the adventure, and you don't feel like you're just needlessly doing something for a multiplayer game that you're not going to play, I think that's one of the best things that I've heard so far with this game, and it kind of echoes in some of the other reviews when it comes down to it, so that's definitely good to hear. So Destructoid, 9.5 out of 10. PlayStation Universe, 9.5 out of 10. Now we're going to get into some of the lower 90 scores here, guys. Terra Gamer with a 9.3 out of 10, saying, once again, Capcom proves that the monster hunting formula has no limits. It can constantly evolve and grow. Monster Hunter Wilds improves everything done in Worlds and Rise and presents it in a fresh game with exciting combat mechanics that leave you breathless, especially when you have a massive monster in front of you and the courage to face it. Games.ch with a 9.2 out of 10, saying 20 years of constant development led to the biggest and most beautiful Monster Hunter ever. New ideas refresh the gameplay without taking the die axe to proven trademarks. Outstanding game development craftsmanship meets a unique artistic vision and an irresistible experience. Spazio Games, 9.2 out of 10. GamePro Germany, 9.1 out of 10. Player 2, 9.1 out of 10. CG Magazine, 9 out of 10. Combo Infinite, 9 out of 10. Comicbook.com, 9 out of 10. Gamer NL, 9 out of 10. Game Reactor UK, 9 out of 10. We're going to go to Games Radar Plus. They gave it a 9 out of 10 as well, saying, with the best combat and narrative in the 20-year series of action RPGs, Monster Hunter Wilds is a new peak of Monster Hunter, only further enlivened by a colorful cast of monsters that defies long-time design conventions. IGN Dutchland with a 9 out of 10 as well. Tech Radar Gaming, 9 out of 10. The 6 Axis, 9 out of 10. XGN, 9 out of 10. Push Square, 9 out of 10. Metro Game Central, 9 out of 10 as well. Gameblog.fr, 9 out of 10. EverEye, 9 out of 10. Games.cz, 9 out of 10. A ton of 9 out of 10s here, guys. PC Games, 9 out of 10. V Games, 9 out of 10. Worth Playing, 9 out of 10. RPG Gamer, 9 out of 10. And let me go over what they have to say. RPG Gamer is one of my favorite sites, and they stated that Monster Hunter Wilds is a truly extraordinary game and a masterpiece of presentation. With its compelling monster designs, riveting fights, and amazingly lush worlds, it's bound to thrill and fill players with intrigue and wonder as they smoothly and effortlessly traverse beautifully crafted environments. The environmental systems and interactions between monsters are truly something to behold, and even though their integration leaves more to be desired, the rest of the package soars tremendously high in every other element for what ultimately amounts to a monstrously mouth-watering RPG. All right, good stuff there. But those are the 9 out of 10 scores. Let's go ahead and move into the 8 out of 10 scores here, guys. RPG Fan with an 8.6 out of 10, saying, ultimately, I can only review what's in front of me, and as it stands, this game shows promise that isn't fully realized yet. Given the strength of its foundation, I'm excited to see where it's headed in 2 years. If Capcom delivers, the expansion could very well be the best Monster Hunter yet. CD Action gives it an 8.5 out of 10, saying Monster Hunter Wilds is a no-brainer for dedicated fans of the series, but it may also appeal to fans of hack-and-slash games, provided they can ditch the isometric view, battles with dozens of enemies, and dark fantasy atmosphere in favor of epic duels and a full-on Japanese feel. Gamers RD with an 8.5 out of 10, MGG with an 8.5 out of 10, Eurogamer Poland with an 8.5 out of 10, Gaming Nexus with the 8.5 out of 10, Hobby Consolas with the 8.4 out of 10, Mary Station 8.3 out of 10, Power Unlimited, 8.3 out of 10. Dexterdo, 8 out of 10. Game Pressure, 8 out of 10. Screen Rant, 8 out of 10, and IGN an 8 out of 10. So I'm going to read what IGN has to say here with the 8 out of 10, saying Monster Hunter Wilds continues to smooth off the traditionally rough edges of the series in smart ways, reducing as much friction as possible that could get in the way of you grabbing any of its exceptionally fun weapons and planting them firmly in a monster's hide. But in that quest to make Monster Hunter more approachable, Wilds has carved a little too close to the bone in some places, trimming its challenge back so much that I barely needed to dig into its in-depth equipment system at all this time to become an apex predator. Its more flexible combat is some of the most fun I've had with the series, but like the blustering lightning storms of its gorgeous desert, it burns brightly but briefly until Capcom unleashes some real endgame beast to challenge us. So that's very interesting that IGN of all places is saying that the challenge isn't enough, so it's kind of knocked down a little bit because of that. So I do think that for most people that aren't hardcore Monster Hunter fans, I think that this might not be a problem, but for people that do love that huge challenge of Monster Hunter, and if you go through this game and IGN's having problems in terms of not being challenged enough, I think that for sure some hardcore Monster Hunter fans might have a problem with that. But once again, everybody's different in terms of it. So for all you hardcore Monster Hunter fans that are playing this game, let me know what you think about that. So let's continue on here. Digital Trends, 8 out of 10. Game Rant, 8 out of 10. Vandal as well, 8 out of 10. I want to read what Vandal has to say, and then we'll move on to the 70 scores, which are the lowest here. There's really nothing below a 7 out of 10. So Vandal says, the combats are really fun, and as an action game, it's still brilliant, especially when we enjoy it in the company of friends or other players. This, in the end, is the most important thing in Monster Hunter, and in this sense, it's a very high level that none of its competitors can even aspire to. So Capcom has a fantastic base on which to continue building for future updates and expansions that will most likely end up unleashing all the potential that it still has to exploit. In the meantime, we'll have to settle for a simply remarkable game that still has a lot to prove. Okay, very interesting there. TryOnline.pl gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Game Cult gave it a 7 out of 10, saying this: the problem when reviewing a game on this scale, part of the series with more than 10 entries, is that personal attachment and nostalgia inevitably play a crucial role. It's clear that the franchise no longer offers the same experience as it did years ago. The rough, unwelcoming, and flamboyant feel of the past has given way to unwavering accessibility, a clear pursuit of simplicity, and a deliberate openness to newcomers. While the game's addictive foundations are still present, they are nonetheless hindered by an at times excessive simplification of mechanics. However, Monster Hunter Wilds remains a thrilling experience, even for veterans, provided they can accept that it is no longer the game they once knew. So very interesting. Again, IGN and now GameCult also says, hey, look, this is too easy. There's too many concessions overall. So yeah, very interesting to see. And I think that it's a delicate balance from getting new players to love the game and then also trying to appeal to the hardcore fans out there. So I think this is going to be very interesting to see how the hardcore fans treat this compared to a lot of the gaming media who probably doesn't play or hardcore into Monster Hunter, but they feel welcomed because maybe they just got this one and this is their first or second Monster Hunter and it's easier for them to do this review. So that's going to be fun to see over the next number of weeks to see what core players actually think. Now, this is the last 70 score. It's a 7 out of 10 from Hardcore Gamer, and they said this: Monster Hunter Wilds is a fun experience that has all the staples that make the series so enjoyable. Unfortunately, some choices make it hard to enjoy yourself for a significant amount of time while making your way to the portion of the game that you're trying to experience. So, all right, hunters, that is the full review roundup when it comes to Monster Hunter Wilds, with 70 plus reviews on the PlayStation 5 and 100 plus total if you count the PC and the Xbox Series. What do you think about the game? Do you plan on picking it up? What are your favorite things about Monster Hunter? Make sure you let me know in the comment section below. All right, peeps, that wraps it up for this one here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch, RPG content, and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.